Welcome back to Seed Time and Harvest. Today we're making compost tea.
Here we have our 80-gallon compost tumbler that's been doing a wonderful job for us throughout the years. We add our kitchen scraps, we add dried leaves, dried grass, things like that. And we just keep rotating it so that it can break down. And it's very rich in nutrients as it decomposes. It provides all the elements that our plants will need to grow. It's not fully broken down as yet. As you can see, I still have some sticks. And I can still make out some leaves in here, but it's very warm. That means it's working. To make our compost tea, we're gonna use this 50-gallon paint strainer bag, all right? It's a mesh, so the water will be able to go through it. So I'm gonna put half of the compost that's decomposing and half of the compost from our worm bin. Did I say 50 gallons paint strainer bag? It's 5 gallons. Yes, it's a 5-gallon bag. So we're gonna put half of this, and then, you wanna help me? Go ahead. Use the shovel. Good job. More? More?
What's too much?
No, it's just right. When you're filling up, when you're doing anything with compost, make sure you wear gloves because there may be thorns in your compost bin, especially if you put orange cuttings or things like that you don't want to get in your fingers. So we have our paint strainer bag filled. We're going to show you what to do next. All right, to make our compost tea, aside from getting our compost, we're also going to need something to hold water. So we have a 32-gallon garbage bin that we picked up for compost tea. What we're going to do is we're going to fill it with water almost all the way full, and then we're going to use this string. We're going to tie the bag and submerge it into the water, not so that it falls on the bottom, but you want it hanging in there. And we have a fish tank bubbler. This is a 100-gallon fish tank bubbler that we're going to drop in the garbage bin, and we're going to put a link for where you can get that. And that's going to continuously aerate the water so that the nutrients can be extracted from the compost and be in our water, so that when we feed the plants with this water, all the nutrients from the compost will already be in there. In addition to that, we're going to add 1 cup of blackstrap molasses and AgroThrive. I'll tell you a little about that in a second. Water is filling up in our bucket or bin, so I'm just going to tie the string through this paint strainer bag. You're going to have to put a hole in there, but don't put a big hole where your compost will fall through. So I'm going to tie this, and of course if you want to make compost tea and you don't have this big of a gallon, big of a size bin, you can always use a 5-gallon bucket. Just use less compost, but you'll still need a bubbler. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this in the bin. I'm going to attach one of the string on this side of the garbage bin and the other string on this side. We're gonna set the bubbler now. You want to make sure it's always bubbling so that you don't breed anaerobic bacteria. You want the good bacteria. So the bubbler will continuously go. This is our bubbler. It's a fish tank bubbler that bubble 100 gallon. So it does well. This mixture, we're gonna add about a cup of molasses. Your bacteria will need sugar to attract the nematodes, beneficial nematodes in the soil. So we're just going to add that to our compost tea. And a Giro Thrive is a organic all-purpose fertilizer that we use in the garden. It has nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium 332, and we're just going to add that to our compost tea as well. All right. Careful, Nathaniel. All right, so the next step is to fill up our bin. We're gonna fill it to about this line right here. Once we have it filled here, we're gonna cover it. We're gonna let it sit and bubble for about 3 days, and then we'll bring you back in to show you how to harvest our compost tea. Until next time, happy planting, and thank you for joining us on Seed Time and Harvest.